you are. And that is what is important.
Yeah.
And therefore, I think what Mr. Mehta said was absolutely right, that a uniform is uniform for everyone.
Yeah. You know, this case has just so many strands. There are, of course, legal constitutional arguments, but there are, of course, very social arguments to be made here as well. Let me go across to Advocate Afsar Jahan. Yes. Ms. Jahan, the problem is that even within the Muslim world, there is no consensus whether hijab is essential or not. In that respect, do you believe that this fight was always a needless fight to begin with? That this binary should have never been created, and this binary was created because vested interests were involved here?
Shivani, let me answer you. First of all, as this debate started with the students being associated with PFI, let me clear that, first of all, it's absolutely nonsense and frivolous to associate these students with PFI. And the case of hijab is not the case of PFI. It's the matter of fundamental rights of Muslim women, okay? Which has been given under Article 29 as well as Article 25. Let us be very clear, first of all, that Article 29, which protects our interests of minorities, you know, their culture, their language, their script. And then coming to Article 25, much talked about secularism or the right to religion or freedom of religion, which is not supposed to be taken away unless and until it's against public order, morality, and health.
Yes.
These are the basic things which we are supposed to look into. And if we are talking about essentiality of a religion, let me quote very quickly the Constitutional Bench judgment in Sardar Sayyidina Tahir Saifuddin versus State of Bombay. Let me remind and recollect everything that with this judgment, which struck down Bombay Prevention of Excommunication Act 1949 on the ground of violating Article 25 and 26. In this case, Justice Iyengar held that essential part of religion includes practices which are regarded by the community as a part of its religion.
But ma'am, that's the question I asked you. Whether it is essential or not, there is no consensus on it. No, but madam, that's what I'm asking you. Is hijab essential or not?
Okay, I will answer about the consensus you are asking about. Okay, but let me finish this, please. So when we are talking about essentiality, but these judgments, are we trying to say that these were pronounced without applying judicial mind? No, right? And coming back to your question that the community itself doesn't have consensus on that. Let me tell you, there are people in any community. Why are you talking only about Muslim community? Let me talk about any other community as such, be it Christians, be it Hindus, be it Muslims. There are people who are practicing Hindus, and some are non-practicing. There are some who are practicing Christians, some are non-practicing. But just because a sect do practice and a sect doesn't practice, does that mean that ritual itself is not essential?
So are you saying that women who don't wear the hijab are not practicing Muslims?
I am telling you, I am trying to say that there are people who feel that this is okay, this is my right. I want to stay. I'm not commenting on somebody that they are not Hindus or they are not Muslims. That's because they are not absolutely not following all the rituals. I'm questioning the same to you, but will we say that these are not Hindus or these are not Muslims?
But Hinduism is a very different religion, ma'am. Don't escape my question. Okay. Are you saying that Muslim women who don't wear the hijab are not practicing Muslims? If you don't say that, then there is no consensus on the hijab being an essential practice.
Shivani, let me tell you, practicing all the rituals is one's own choice. Right?
Exactly.
We are not supposed to comment on anybody.
But then there is no consensus. The only conclusion I can draw from that is that within the Muslim world,
it's a matter of choice.
Exactly. Then it's a matter of choice. Then it is not an essential practice.
But it doesn't mean that we raise a question that we struck down the essentiality of the ritual itself, or custom itself. No.
Nobody is striking it down. Let me also reiterate, there is no ban on the hijab. This is a simple question of whether you can force yourself to wear the hijab inside a classroom. Amana is listening to your argument. Amana, my fundamental question is this only. By insisting that these girls must be allowed to wear the hijab inside a classroom, is a dangerous precedent being set that those women who don't wear the hijab are not good Muslims or not practicing Muslims. I see it going down that very slippery slope. Look at what's happening in Iran today. Why don't we not learn from what is happening today there? Ma'am, 1 second. You had your chance. Let Amana come in. Let Amana come in.
Absolutely wrong. I was trying to only give you example. Don't.
Amana?
Let me make my point. Please give me 2 minutes uninterrupted because I want to highlight certain points here. First of all, this dictator. Hello?
Yes, Amana, we can hear you. Go ahead.
Yeah. This dictatorship which is see that Islamic State imposes on the women by the law is there in a Muslim society. We get not shamed if we don't wear the hijab and the burqa. That is the reality of our society. Let them make any point the hijab and the burqa is a regressive practices which wants the women to control a women. It is a patriarchal dress code and it is a cultural dress code. It is not the Islamic dress code. Even Islam themselves has agreed upon it. Now let me bring some sense in this burqa debate. There is no ban in India when it comes to wearing the burqa, niqab or hijab. Also, there is no law which makes it mandatory to wear, unlike Iraq. Also, there are at least 10 European nations that has put a ban on a burqa, including there are some Muslim countries like Tunisia, or, Azerbaijan, Lebanon. They have also banned the burqa in a varying degree because they also see it as a patriarchal, as a regressive practice. In a similar fashion, there was a burqa ban by a Muslim education society in Kerala, which owns around 100 educational institutes in 2019.
Yes.
But we saw no outrage, no protest, no politics over it. Never happened. And also, this is a fact that in the contrast, we know what happened in Afghanistan and in Iran, if women deny to, women chooses not to wear the burqa. So the point is, what is the real agenda behind this, all the protests? Why this is happening when there is no ban in India over the burqa?
You mentioned the case in Kerala. Here there is a BJP government. Right. And that's where the PFI, CFI role comes. Mind you, I will reiterate, there is a picture of these girls joining the CFI, which is the Campus Front of India, an affiliation of the PFI. But that is where the question comes of vested interests, Amana.
Even the father of that girl, Muskan, who shouted Allah Akbar, is a PFI member. We can't deny these things. Now let me talk about the, how psychologically it plays. The idea behind this entire manufactured outrage is to create a narrative that state has put a ban on a burqa or a hijab and Muslim identity is under the attack.
In India.
They can steer us pro-hijab or to be told pro-burqa sentiment among the masses. With the help of communist ideologues. The politicization of such matters helps them to affect an ordinary Muslim mindset. An average, Muslim see burqa as an aggressive practices, but she will support it because now she feels or he feels that his identity is under that attack.
Yeah. What I am most worried about, Amana, you make a good point, but what I am most worried about is the fact that we are treading down a very dangerous path where some are now insisting that it is obligatory on all Muslim women, and there is this borderline talk of if you don't wear it, then you don't believe in all practices, others believe in all practices, and that's really a very, very dangerous precedent and binary to go down, because then you're creating pressure on other Muslim women in a country like India to don the hijab when they have decided that this is not what they want to do. Because there is a morality code and there is a dignity being thrusted down women's throats here.
Shivani,
I want to come.
Shivani,
Yes.
I wanted to say something here.
Mr. Prasad, I have only 30 seconds left. Yes, sir, please go ahead.
No. See, what is happening is, let me not go to the integrity, it becomes too technical. What is happening here is, before 2022, students were not wearing hijab. PFI comes into the picture. They provoke the students to wear hijab. And then when the school stops these students in entering the classes, they start all these protests. And then Karnataka government comes in. They give the order. The same PFI goes against the government order and they go to the court. 15 days is spent in court. They don't believe in the court's judgment. And then they entirely lock, stock and barrel, they go to the Supreme Court.
Well,
40 petitions come
that's their right. But you are also right in the fact that the CFI and the PFI are on record to say that they will not accept the Karnataka High Court judgment. If they had nothing to do with this case, why were they giving out those statements and press conferences? But I've run out of time. I've run out of time, sir. Let's see how the hijab hearing continues in the Supreme Court. One side of petitioners have spoken. The other side is yet to speak.